Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, so if you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Adastra. If things sound a little bit different, it's because I have migrated, for just today at least, to my room with my laptop. I've got everything set up that I need, shouldn't have any issues. I managed to get my microphone working properly after a little bit of troubleshooting. I don't think any of my settings transferred over, my saves transferred over. So yeah, anyway, we had knocked out Amicus, and I'm curious to know where we're going from here, because might not be good. Probably just gonna show up to his home world with him knocked out in the ship. But anyway, guys, please sit back and enjoy. Let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right in. Okay. Well, Amtram, you're up. Okay, let's go. Finally, I managed to break free of his dead weight and crawl a few feet away, spending a few moments catching my breath. I look back at his still twitching form, his rump stuck slightly up in the air. I wonder how long I have before he wakes up. There's a long, shiny, thin cord around my left wrist, and I start to work at the knot. It's a strange material, smooth and metallic, yet it bends as easily as rope. It's a pain in the ass getting it undone, though. It's like the dumb wolf just put as many knots into it as he could. He probably had no idea what he was doing, and now it makes sense why I was able to get out of it so easily. While I'm undoing the mess, I keep looking over at him. The twitches and snorts are subsiding, which I'm not sure is a good thing or not. Come on. I grunt as I finally pull the last tangle out, straightening the metal rope thing out in both my hands. I look between it and the knocked out wolf in front of me, giving my head a little shake. What the fuck is even happening? I get to work, planting my butt on Amicus as I pull... Are you using him as a chair? As I pull both of his paws behind his back. I have some difficulty keeping my balance as I lift his heavy arms and start winding the rope around his wrists. I'm not exactly an expert at tying hands behind backs either, but I feel far more confident in my work than Amicus ever should have in his own. I guess his carelessness makes some sort of sense, considering I'm a tiny human and he's a giant canine. He probably thought he'd just be able to toss me back in the closet if I got free. I look over at my work, somewhat satisfied with how neat and tight the binding is. I shift and almost slide off the wolf's ass, forcing me to put my hands back and steady myself on his thighs. They're thick and heavily muscled, and that makes me realize that they might also be a problem. While binding his arms as a start, I have no doubt in my mind he'd be able to take me out with a few nasty kicks. I stand up and start looking around for more of that rope, but that's when I notice something strange happening outside the windows. Thin streaks of white light stretch and bend, moving slowly from the front before arcing in long lines to the sides and disappearing from sight. I stare, mesmerized, and suddenly feel sick at the sight. I avert my eyes, looking at the wall while I watch the strange light show out of the corner of my eye. Are those stars? Are we in some sort of wormhole, or what was it called? Hyperspace? I start to get the feeling that I'm very, very far from Earth now, which makes me feel even more sick. I want to keep my mind off of it, so I set about searching the deck for more of the metal rope, trying to ignore that we might be moving at the speed of light into the depths of space. I don't have much luck. Most everything the ship is flush to its surface with very few moving parts. I end up going back to the utility closet, and that's when I see that metal polygon with the long cord sticking out of it, the one I'd knocked off the shelf earlier. I lean over and pull at it, deciding that it should hold even if it's more plasticky and not metal. 5 minutes later, and I have his legs bound together. I search around for the taser for another minute before finding it pinned between Amicus's chest and the deck. I'm hot and sweaty as I finally sit back against the opposite wall, staring at the face-down wolf and his bindings. The weight of the taser in my hand going over scenarios in my mind for what I'm going to say to him when he wakes back up. Oh boy. Oh boy, kinky. I'm not sure how long it takes, an hour, maybe two, before Amicus starts to stir. First he groans, then he rolls over a few times, then drags up his bound legs before trying to work his paws free. Finally, he opens his eyes, and because he's on his side, I'm the first thing he sees. He squints, frowns, then groans again, turning over onto his stomach. What the hell? I clear my throat and swallow, trying not to show how nervous I am. Yeah, what the hell? You tased me again. What? Amicus turns his head to look at me again, then looks away, letting out another groan. Oh, my stomach! What did you do? Exactly what you did to me. I hold up my taser, turning it into the light so that the wolf can fully see it. Amicus stares at it for a moment before letting his face fall back to the floor of the deck. Oh gods, I feel like I'm on fire! Did you use it at full power? What the hell is wrong with you? Despite my fear and anxiety over this entire situation, I'm able to feel indignant. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my stomach is growling. It's some ice cream cake this morning. I don't usually have that. It's very good. Me? You did the same thing to me, then lied to me, then tased me again, then tied me up. You're crazy! I would never use full power on anyone. Ugh! Amicus seems to ignore my rant as he rolls onto his back, arching over his tied paws, probably stretching out the muscles that I'd hit with the taser. I wait a while longer, listening to the grunts, groans, and complaints as Amicus continues to whine. I'm not that stupid, though. I can tell he's stalling for time, trying to figure out a way to get out of this. I stand up. Take me home. Amicus opens one eye, glaring at me. What? I said, take me home. Amicus goes quiet for a moment, his eyes closed, then he forces himself to sit up, visibly cringing as he's forced to use his stomach muscles. He scoots back with more complaints until he plants his back against the wall behind him. I see his shoulders shift, his biceps bulging. I can tell that he's working and testing the restraints. I raise the taser. Stop moving or I'm gonna hit you again. Fuck off! I move toward him, brandishing the taser like a sword. Hey! 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 Amicus kicks his feet up, trying to block my attack. Now I see real fear in his eyes. Then stop moving and tell me how we get back. I don't really want to shock him again. It did look really painful, and on top of that, I don't want to knock him out for hours while our little ship is hurtling through space. Amicus glares at me for a moment, his feet still in the air before he slowly lowers them. I'll show you if you let me go. I actually laugh, and the sound seems to startle the wolf. Are you kidding me? Why would I trust you at all after what you've done to me? Amicus's ears flatten. Tell me where the hell you're taking me and why, otherwise I will zap you again. What? He seems at a loss for words. I can't tell you. I glare, and for a moment I consider just jabbing him again right then and there. Why not? The wolf remains silent as he looks away from me. I feel myself getting even more angry. I'm tired of this alien holding me hostage. Well, I guess I'll just have to figure it out on my own, then. I turn away and start moving toward the front of the deck. Amicus shifts around behind me. What? You don't know the first thing about this ship, don't? The big wolf grunts as he tries to get his feet under him. Don't touch anything! I ignore him and move to the panels, looking them over. The big one in the middle looks promising, and I start poking at it. I know I won't be able to figure out how to turn the ship around, but the wolf's worry over me touching the panels gives me an idea. I could probably mess things up to the point where he'll have to tell me what he's doing, or even how I might be able to get back. There aren't many other options aside from torturing him, something I don't really want to do. The lines and shapes move with my finger, and the Roman numerals pop up randomly here and there. Hey, what are you doing? Amicus huffs and puffs behind me. Just a circle appears and compresses around my finger, like it's zeroed in on something. I look back to see Amicus hobbling up onto his tied-together feet, looking just about ready to topple over. You have no idea what... I feel a soft vibration under my finger, not unlike my phone's haptic feedback. Overriding sleep mode. Locked in on Stella 556425. No! Come! Stop last directive! Voice command for piloting are reserved for the Emperor, Amicus. Human, stop! Amicus starts hopping toward me on his bound feet, and I scramble to the side so he doesn't run into me. No, no, no! The wolf stares down at the panel, and I look out the window as the stars seem to curve all the way to my right, making me feel sick again, and the next thing I know... Oh, shit! The cabin is lit up by an ominous red glow. So ominous and shaky that it's actually shaking the game out of its frame. The windows suddenly tint, blocking the worst of the light, and that's when I'm able to see a massive ball of fire in front of the ship. The size of it is incredible. Orbital trajectory will intersect with the photosphere. Ensure safety straps are in place, making corrective maneuvers. I only have a moment to wonder what the hell Khan is talking about before Amicus and I are thrown sideways into the lift window of the ship. The impact is mostly cushioned by Amicus's body, and I hear him yell and curse under me. Move! Get in the seat! I struggle to reach out to the seat in front of me, but I can barely lift my hand. The gravity of the star is so powerful it feels like it's going to suck my soul out. Then I'm suddenly boosted up by something behind me, and I look back, the movement making me feel like my neck is going to break. I see Amicus with his back planted against the window, his feet pushing me up to the seat. I managed to grab the armrest and pull myself into it. Now the left armrest is digging painfully into my back, making it feel as if a professional wrestler is slamming me into a backbreaker. Amicus jumps from the window, high enough that his feet land against the right side of my chair. Then he jumps again, managing to wedge himself into the footwell of the opposite seat. Heat shields compromised. Expect heat damage to outer layer of ship in 30 seconds. With a great deal of snarling and gasping, he pushes himself awkwardly into the seat, both feet planted against the panels in front of him for leverage. He turns to me, teeth bared, a determined look in his eyes. Look at your right armrest! Do you see the green panel between the red buttons? Through the shock, I'm somehow able to understand him and look down. Now, drag your finger across it to the left. I'll steer the ship. I feel panic starting to rise in my chest at the idea of steering a goddamn spaceship. What? Just do it! Point us away from the star! I do as I'm told, sliding a thumb gingerly over the green panel, and slowly the ship turns, pointing away from the star, shifting the incredible force of gravity until it's pulling us back into the seats. Now see that lever in between us? Yeah! Pull it down! Now reaching my hand out is almost impossible as it gets pulled back toward the star behind us. Gritting my teeth, I lean forward as hard as I can, practically throwing myself forward and grabbing onto the lever. Then gravity does the rest of the work and the lever comes down hard. I lose my grip and get thrown back into my seat. The gravity increases twofold, and for a moment it feels like my entire body is being crushed into a pancake. And then the burning orange light is gone and the deck goes black. Running diagnostics. Amicus. Yes, Com? Damage to the ship is severe. Recovery mode is required. One of the cats is pawing under my door. No! You stop that. I can see those little beans. You gonna give me them beans? Enter recovery mode. Stand by. Well, that went well. We almost drove into a frickin' star. Ugh. We sit in silence for a long, long time. I lean against the seat with both feet drawn up to my chest, feeling numb and shaky. I also feel stupid, embarrassed, and kind of guilty. On one hand, I nearly just got us both killed. But on the other hand, this crazy alien almost killed me by bringing me here in the first place. At least it feels that way. I still don't know what his ultimate plan is with me. I wonder for the 100th time if I'm going to wake up. I plug my nose and try to breathe through my nostrils. No air comes through. I sigh and look out the window at the blue glow that we found ourselves in. The star that we just escaped is far away now, though it's still an almost blinding tiny orb far to my left, kind of like the sun was not too long ago. It's lighting up all this dust that's around us with an eerie blue glow. It's kind of calming. I look over at Amicus and see him slumped in his chair, looking out the window. His shoulders are hunched, ears drooping and his head down. He's on the edge of his seat because his arms are still tied behind his back, forcing him to lean forward a bit. Com hasn't spoken since we went into recovery mode, and the ship hasn't moved at all. The usual hum isn't even there. It's like everything is turned off. I finally decide to break the silence. Amicus? I see his ears flick, but he keeps his head down, not even looking at me. I swallow, then try again. Amicus! I see his shoulders rise and fall in a deep sigh, but he keeps silent. I'm about to just give up and slump back in my seat when he suddenly responds. What? What's happening? The wolf turns to glare at me. What do you mean, what's happening? You broke the ship! He turns away and continues to sulk. I feel a little anger at that, and I realize that this alien isn't alien at all. He's acting just like an upset human kid that didn't get his way. It makes me a little less afraid of him. Excuse me, do I have to go through the list of shit that you did to me? Amicus turns to me again, and I can almost see his mind working to think of some sort of comeback. Well, I think you topped it by nearly throwing us into a star, human. You shouldn't have kidnapped me in the first place, wolf. I should be calling you child, since that's what you are. Well, this child outsmarted you, zapped you, and tied you up. I see him bristle, the hackles rising on his shoulders like a dog. You could have killed me. That setting is meant for creatures 3 times my size. How was I supposed to know? I don't know anything about what's going on. I told you what's going on. You really think I'm stupid, don't you? Amicus pouts and turns away again. I think you thought it was some stupid alien you could just take advantage of. I can tell that you've been lying to me this whole time. Amicus flattens his ears more, shoulders bunching up. Is that what you and your people do? Kidnapping and lying to everyone you meet? Now his hackles really raise up and he turns on me fast. I try not to lean back. Despite the similarities, he's still a wolf, and those teeth are terrifying. I do not lie. The wolf's righteous indignation seems to deflate. The situation is too complicated for you to understand. I glare at him. Who's tied up again? Amicus doesn't take the bait this time and remains slumped. I guess it doesn't matter now. We're probably going to die out here with how badly the ship is burned. That makes my stomach twist a bit. I want to ask him if he's just moping or if he actually thinks we're going to die. But another long moment of silence stretches between us. I look out the window again at the towering clouds of dust in front of us. Well, if that's the case, then can you just tell me what's going on? Amicus goes on staring out his window. I sigh and lean back, resigned to the idea that I might not ever know why I was dragged out to space to simply get stuck and die in a dust cloud. Then Amicus speaks. I made some mistakes. I glance at him, waiting, not wanting to say anything in case he stops talking. I didn't know your species wasn't part of the Galaxius. It's very illegal to make first contact without authorization from a parent. Parent? The authorities of the galaxy. I frown and Amicus looks at the confusion on my face. How can I put this simply? There are 3 levels in the Galaxius. At the very top are the parents. They arrive from beyond our galaxy to spread their culture here. Amicus glances at me. You know what a galaxy is? That there are others outside of our own. Yeah? Amicus lets out a breathy chuckle. Of course, I probably should have expected that. So you must know then that the intergalactic travel is incredibly advanced, almost godlike, and that's why they are gods. There are 8 of them, and that are still present in our galaxy, though they rarely communicate with us these days. Then there are the siblings. That's what my species is a part of. The galaxy was scoped out by the parents at the very start to find the most intelligent and capable species. They each selected one, and we were the ones chosen and uplifted by the Romanus. The note of pride in Amicus's voice is obvious. From then on, it has been our mission to increase intelligence in promising species and teach them our philosophy and culture to uplift. I try to make sense of that in terms I can understand. So, you spread their culture for the parents. They're like your god, and your species are like missionaries. Amicus shrugs. Yeah, sort of like that. That doesn't sound so great, especially when I compare it to things that have happened on Earth. Mass galactic assimilation. So, why are they doing this? If they got here at the same time and did the same thing, does that mean they're working together? Amicus shakes his head. We don't really know all the reasons for what the parents do, but we compete with the other siblings. But that brings me to the rest of the sapiens in the galaxy, the children. The siblings uplift these children and bring them into our fold under the direction of our parents. Again, they haven't told us exactly what's going on, but we came to the conclusion that it's some sort of competition, and we mean to win for our parents. So, I'm a child. Well, no, not really. I've been calling you that, but you're not part of the Galaxius, and that's where I've made my mistake. Oh dear. Oh. Like I said, it was illegal for me to contact you, but I didn't know. How did you not know that? Shouldn't you have a record of this type of stuff? That's the confusing part to me. I found Earth in the library, so there was a record of it, but there wasn't much. Just a few footnotes about a sapient species there. But because that record exists, I know that your species was uplifted to a child status at some point. In Rome? Presumably, but sometimes the species is unable to be uplifted for different reasons. Too aggressive, too docile, too unintelligent. Amicus glances at me. I thought this was what happened to your species. Then, if we've been uplifted, doesn't that mean that you've already made first contact? Yes, but we're still not part of the Galaxius. That's why I made the mistake. You should know about it, but you don't. Knowledge of other intelligent life is sacred, and for whatever reason your species lost it. So it doesn't matter that we've made first contact before. If the knowledge of the Galaxius has been lost, then any form of communication between us is first contact all over again. And while uplift has been cancelled with the species in the past, we don't completely cut off contact. They're permanently part of the Galaxius. I've never heard of something like this happening before, so I panicked. Calm. Amicus glances at the ceiling. Wasn't able to tell me that until he connected to your nexus. Nexus? Another word that doesn't translate. I'm guessing internet. Like the technology that connects places, people, information. Oh, the internet? If that's your word for it. So, I try to understand everything I'm being told. Why didn't you just tell me all this before you kidnapped me, or knocked me out? I see Amicus's ears flatten and he looks away, clearly ashamed. I don't know. I didn't fully understand the intelligence of your species yet. I thought I could just lead you to believe things. I don't say anything and Amicus shifts uncomfortably. Living on Earth after you saw me, you might have gone to the authorities on your planet with that knowledge, which might have led to the Monitor being alerted. Amicus answers my question before I can ask it. Monitors are basically the ears and eyes of the parents. They monitor the galaxy. What happens if they're alerted? Amicus sighs deeply. I don't know. It hasn't happened in a long time, and I don't think anyone has ever broken this particular law. It's one of the most important laws we're supposed to follow. Knowing I'd broken it? Amicus pauses. Scared you? Amicus shakes his head, but doesn't say anything. I try to piece all this together in my head. So then you panicked and kidnapped me. It was either that or kill you, or leave you and hope for the best, but that was a risk that I felt I couldn't take at the time. Amicus seems to shrink in his seat. And I guess I just didn't want to tell you because I knew I'd disrupted your life in a terrible way. I thought I might be able to make you forget and want to stay with me if you saw my phone. But why? Why did you do it in the first place? What do you want from me? Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right there. Oh! First video done on a laptop. Fun. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, read that notification bell. Leave a super thanks if you can. It always helps. Hopefully this video is of the same quality of my other ones. But anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. I love you all. Bye-bye!